Most people love my AI predictions, until they notice how often I miss my own deadlines. Robotaxis next year, Optimus thousands of units soon, full self-driving by the end of this year. And then the calendar flips, and reality is slower than the tweet. This video is the confession, why I keep missing my AI timelines, what that actually says about the future, and how you should plan your life so you don't get wrecked by other people's hype. When I talk about AI and robotics, I'm usually talking in straight lines. If this curve continues, work becomes optional, money becomes less relevant. Robots and AI handle almost everything. The direction is right, the timing is hard. Take robotaxis. For years I've been saying Tesla would get to full self-driving, where the car can drive better than a human, and then turn into a robotaxi network. At one point, I said there would be 1 million robotaxis on the road next year. That didn't happen. Then the plan shifted, operate robotaxi services in 8-10 major metro areas by the end of 2025, using full self-driving and a dedicated cybercab vehicle. What actually happened? By late 2025, the headlines were more like Tesla robotaxi delayed to 2026 amid regulatory and tech hurdles, and scaled T-back robotaxi timeline still faces obstacles. Instead of a global swarm of autonomous taxis, we moved toward limited driverless trials in a few cities like Austin and test fleets using cybercab prototypes, while regulators in places like Nevada and Arizona still hadn't signed off on widespread unsupervised service. So yes, the direction, cars driving themselves and making money while you sleep, remains the target. But the dates kept slipping. Same story with Optimus. I've shown demos of the humanoid robot walking, lifting, even doing basic tasks and kung fu moves. Publicly, I talked about thousands of Optimus units operating in Tesla factories and eventually millions of robots in the wider economy. Internally, goals like at least 0 robots by the end of 2025 floated around. Reality check, by mid-2025, reports started saying Tesla had scaled back Optimus production plans because we couldn't get the hands right. Human-like, highly dexterous hands turned out to be a major bottleneck. There were literal rows of Optimus bodies sitting without hands or forearms, waiting for the hardware and software integration to catch up. Battery life, joint robustness, sensor integration, balance, all solvable, but not overnight. The initial production ramp was cut, target numbers revised downward, and timelines got fuzzier. So if you're watching from the outside, it looks like this. Bold prediction, huge excitement, timeline, delay, new timeline. Some people assume that means the technology is fake or the future won't happen. That's the wrong conclusion. The right lesson is this. AI in the digital world moves at Twitter speed. AI in the physical world moves at physics speed. There are two very different AIs unfolding right now. The first is digital AI, chatbots, generative models, tools that live entirely in software. This is the world where progress looks insane, new models every few months, code written in seconds, images, video, voice, entire workflows automated through APIs. Adoption can be almost instantaneous. Ship an update, and millions of people get it tonight. That's why you see so many stories about AI taking all the jobs, AI replacing creatives, AI doing customer support, AI writing contracts. The friction is low. The infrastructure is mostly already there. Data centers, the internet, devices, software rides on top of that. The second is physical AI, self-driving cars, humanoid robots, drones delivering goods, machines working in messy, dangerous environments. Here, progress is real, but much slower. Why? Because you're not just pushing bits, you're pushing atoms. Physical AI has to deal with hardware limits, motors, joints, hands, sensors, batteries that must survive real-world stress, weather, wear and tear. Safety. You can't just ship and patch a car that crashes or a robot that drops heavy objects on people. The cost of mistakes is measured in lives, not just bugs. Regulation, governments and agencies, like NHTSA, decide what's allowed on roads and in workplaces. They don't move at Twitter speed. You can't update reality, like an app store. A robot that falls over on stage is a meme. A robot that falls on someone in a factory is a lawsuit. A chatbot that hallucinates is annoying. A car that hallucinates a non-existent lane line can kill someone. So even with billions of dollars, thousands of engineers, and more compute than most countries, turning AI brain into reliable real-world behavior is brutal. That's why robotaxis are behind my public timelines, even though the software keeps improving. That's why Optimus has bodies waiting for hands. It's not because the direction is wrong. It's because the timeline was too optimistic for the physical layer. What does that mean for your future? First, it means don't plan your life on the fastest possible AI timeline. When I say work may be optional in 10-20 years, I believe that's possible if AI and robotics keep compounding and adoption follows. But analysts looking at actual deployment data point out that larger-scale automation is not replacing entire labor markets overnight. Even 2 years after ChatGPT, for example, broad job statistics don't show total collapse. Adoption is spotty, uneven, and slowed by organizational and regulatory friction. If you build your whole career or business assuming the most aggressive date I mentioned on a podcast is guaranteed, you will be distressed. The reality is usually direction, mostly correct. Timing, usually too early. So here's the rule you should follow. Plan for the slower, more realistic AI timeline and treat the faster one as upside. If I say 10-20 years, you should mentally plan for 20 and be thrilled if it happens in 10. If I say next year, you should assume maybe in a few years at scale and build your life so you survive and prosper, even if it takes that long. Second, it means your best position is not at the fragile edge of the hype wave, but in the layer between digital AI and the physical world. Right now, the highest leverage opportunities sit in the interfaces, tools that help humans supervise and collaborate with AI and robots instead of being replaced by them. Integrations that plug digital AI into real workflows, operations, logistics, design, healthcare, education. Systems that turn raw AI capability into dependable products with human guardrails. Think human in the thigh loop, not human. Autui, afai, the picture. Self-driving is evolving through supervised and limited domains before true robotaxis everywhere. Optimus is starting in controlled Tesla factory tasks before going out into unpredictable homes. That pattern, constrained domain, human oversight, gradual expansion, is how physical AI will roll out across most industries. You want your skills and businesses to live in that rollout path, not at the mercy of marketing slides. So what should you actually do with this information? First, get fluent in digital AI, because that's where change is fastest and adoption is easiest right now. Learn to use AI tools deeply in your field, not just prompts, but chaining tools, APIs, and automation. Offload repetitive cognitive tasks, drafting, summarizing, first-to-pass analysis. Become the person in your team who knows how to plug AI into real work, not just talk about it. Second, position yourself near physical AI without betting your entire life on exact dates. Follow what's happening with autonomous vehicles and logistics, robotics in manufacturing, warehouses, and healthcare, humanoid robots, and collaborative robots. Look for roles in businesses that help deploy, maintain, and integrate these systems. Design processes around them. Provide safety, compliance, or specialized hardware, software that physical AI needs. Third, shift your mindset from, I will instantly wipe out my job, to I will gradually change the shape of my job and industry, and I can move to the higher leverage parts. In practice, that means moving away from work that is 100% routine execution, moving toward work that involves system design, judgment, coordination, and ownership. Treating AI as a force multiplier you ride, not a wave that knocks you over. Finally, build your plans on robust timelines. Assume digital AI will keep getting better quickly. Don't ignore it. Assume physical AI robots, self-driving, full automation of complex real-world tasks will arrive in uneven, messy waves over a decade or two, not in one instant flip. Design your career, investments, and businesses so they still make sense if the hype slips by 5 years. If I miss my robotaxi target by a year, Tesla can absorb that and keep going. If you miss your life planning, because you assumed every hype date was guaranteed. You don't get a reset. So take this as both a confession and a warning. Yes, I will keep making aggressive timelines. Yes, I will keep being wrong on the exact dates and mostly right on the direction. Your job is not to copy my dates. Your job is to copy the direction and build something that survives, even when the future arrives more slowly than Twitter wants it to. If you do that, delayed robotaxis and stumbling robots won't scare you. They'll just be confirmation that you gave yourself enough runway to be ready when AI finally hits the physical world at full force.